What's up everyone, welcome back to the Frog vs Clown YouTube channel. I'm the Frog, MrFrogSplash.
I'm the Clown, TommyDaClown.
And today we're going to be looking at our top 5 WWE promos / segments of January 2025. Let's go. And let me know in the comments what you think about the hair, right? Just got it shaved. Just got it shaved earlier on, looking fresh, Let me know in the comments, rate it out of 10. What do you think?
You want to get closer to Giovanni Vinci?
I'm not getting closer to Giovanni Vinci. I think it's fresh.
You're one step closer to Giovanni Vinci.
I think it's beautiful. Let us know in the comments how it looks. I think it looks absolutely clean. I'll kick things off with my number 5 on the list, and I'm going to go with Penta's post-match promo after he debuted in the WWE. January 13th, Monday Night Raw, he just beat Chad Gable. I thought this was excellent. The fact that WWE allowed Penta to cut a promo, and not only that, but cut it mostly in Spanish as well, I thought was great. He had very simple words for us, but these words I think were very impactful. They were very emotional. He had his family in the front row. His daughter was crying her eyes out. Just so proud of her dad. Just to see him, he's telling us it's the Penta new era. I thought this was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great introduction from him. It was a great promo. It was a great match. The whole segment of Penta was brilliant. And yeah, the promo after the match, although it was a lot of it in Spanish, like you said, the English words that he chose were really good choices to choose because they were impactful. They did get the message that he was trying to spread. So a good number 5.
Yeah, and if you weren't a fan of Penta before this match, I'm pretty sure by the time it was over, you were sold that this is definitely someone that is just a massive star. Not only was the match great, but I definitely think that this little segment, this little promo here, for me, gets into my top 5 of the month, and that's why it's at number 5.
Well, my number 5 is something that was in the Raw January 13th as well, but it was the promo between Jey Uso and Gunther, especially the part where Jey Uso was stopping the fans. He was telling them don't do the yeet thing when he was speaking because he was really serious. It was really emotional. It was a Jey Uso, a different side to him, trying to tell Gunther that he belongs in the main event and that he can beat Gunther. This wasn't the promo, by the way, that they recently had. It was the one before they had the match. But still, this promo was really emotional, and not just that part, but the part before, the stuff Gunther said before Gunther came out. Jey Uso cut a decent promo before then, so that's why it's number 5 on my list.
Definitely was a really good promo, and when you look back, you realize that these guys have had a lot of promos together over the past few weeks, but this one in particular was really good. I think this show as a whole, like the January 13th episode of Raw, had a ton of great promos and a ton of great matches as well. Definitely a really good episode, just like all the Raws have been. But this one was really great, and I definitely think it's worthy of getting into a top 5 list. So yeah, that's great. For my number 4 spot, I'm going to go with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes' promo, January 27th, Monday Night Raw. This was just excellent. We had Cody Rhodes kind of kick off the promo when Sami Zayn accidentally hit him with a haluva kick, and we have Cody Rhodes, he's hurt. He's just had enough, right? He's been sent over the edge. He's sick of everything that's going on with Kevin Owens and how some of his friends maybe haven't been so friendly to him. And then we have CM Punk surprisingly come out, and this was just an amazing surprise because these two don't really interact all that often, but when they do, it is always a special treat. Punk comes out and he tells Cody, the championship can weigh on you. The longer you have it, the more pressure it builds. He says he's experienced it before when he was champion in his legendary 434-day reign. Cody Rhodes is kind of questioning Punk, saying, are you my friend, or are you just another person who's going to stab me in the back? And then Punk goes on to say how he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to challenge Cody at Mania, but he's not going to stab Cody in the back. He's going to stab him in the front because that's the type of guy that Punk is. Tension just keeps building and building between these two during this promo, and we then see Cody about to walk off. Punk, pulls him back, says, hey, hold on there. He wants the last word, and then Cody does the same to Punk when he's about to walk off, and it's just amazing. It's kind of like the promo that they had last year on the Go Home show to the Rumble. Just excellent stuff, and whenever these two are in the ring together, they make magic. So I really can't wait to see them actually have a proper feud with each other, because I think when it does happen, it's going to be feud of the year.
I mean, yeah, this promo was really good. That's what you kind of expect when you've got CM Punk and Cody Rhodes both battling on the mic, because they're both really good on the mic. And yeah, their feud, if they ever have one, which they probably will be epic. And this was just another segment that made me more confident that Punk was going to win the Royal Rumble, because he had the promo with Cody, which was brilliant. He had it with Kevin Owens, which was phenomenal. He was just talking to everyone about the Royal Rumble, so he felt like the main guy in it. But yeah, a really good choice.
Yeah, and that's the thing with CM Punk on the road to the Royal Rumble. It felt like he was the main character, having these little segments and promos with people, and it's like he was in the middle and he was just going to this guy and this guy and this guy, and so it made me believe anyway that he was the favorite to win, and obviously he didn't. That's just what happens in wrestling sometimes, you know. It's not always going to be predictable. But yeah, for me, that's going to take the number 4 spot. I thought this promo was excellent.
What takes my number 4 spot is Sami Zayn's promo on January 20th on Raw. And this whole promo was really good. He started it off by saying that he belongs in the main event. There's no difference really between him and guys like Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. People who announce themselves for the Royal Rumble, people who review as main event top guys, because the only difference is that he's not won the World Championship, and that's why he's entering himself into the Royal Rumble. It gave him a good story to try and win it. Then Kevin Owens came out, and Sami Zayn originally thought Kevin Owens wouldn't like him for teaming with Roman Reigns, but Kevin Owens even just says that Sami Zayn forgave him for all the stuff Kevin Owens done to him, all the bad stuff he done. Kevin Owens tries to tell Sami Zayn to help him in the Cody Rhodes ladder match, which he doesn't. But this whole promo, great movement of storytelling. It was phenomenal in my opinion.
I thought this was great. It's a promo of two halves, in my opinion. You have Sami Zayn obviously telling the world how much he wants to be viewed on the level of a Roman Reigns, and then you have the Kevin Owens part where he's playing mind games on Zayn, kind of saying, "I've got your back at the Rumble, and that means you've got my back, right? Just like you had Roman's back." And I love it. It's classic Kevin Owens. I love this promo so much. It might be on my list, it might not, but this was truly excellent. And again, on Monday Night Raw is cooking with these promos and segments so far. So we'll just have to see if any more of them get on our list. My number 3 spot is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like you just said, this was excellent. I love it. We don't really have to say much more on it because we just were talking about it, but I've said it before, Kevin Owens is probably in his prime right now. Unbelievable. Sami Zayn, I think, is also doing some great stuff right now. I think he's definitely gaining some of that momentum back, and I do see him potentially winning the World Championship at some point this year. I think both men deserve World Championship gold, like ASAP. They need to win Championship gold, preferably World Title gold, as soon as possible. And it looks like they're probably going to end up having a match against each other at Elimination Chamber. I personally would like it at WrestleMania. I think that match is bigger than Elimination Chamber. I know that the Chamber is in Canada. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But either way, I think there's big things in the future for both of these men.
So my number 3 is John Cena's promo, the only promo he did in January, on the debut episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It was top to bottom a really good promo. The start was just a bit basic with him routing up the crowd. He was saying how Raw on Netflix is huge, it's massive, it's going on all the countries. We heard it. It was still good, but then he started going on to what he's done in LA and how it's his last time and what he wants to accomplish in this year. And he was setting out realistic expectations and kind of saying that he may not win 17. And then he built it up to this really cool moment of announcing himself for the Royal Rumble, where he said that he could get to Elimination Chambers to get to 17, he could try and get Money in the Bank, and then he announced himself for the Royal Rumble. So, and my number 4, 3, and 2, you'll see later on for my number 2, they're very interchangeable. They're all so close together. I keep on changing it every time I look at my list because they're all just 3 are very, very good. But this promo in particular was definitely one of the best of January.
Yeah, this was excellent. We've talked about it before. Personally, it's in my moment of the month when he announced the Rumble entrance. This was excellent. The promo as a whole was great. Obviously, at the beginning of the promo, when he first started talking, I was a bit like, oh, because before that we had Triple H open the show, we had The Rock, and then Cena. At this point, we're 40 minutes in or something, right? And those three men cut the exact same promo saying, "This is massive, 500 million viewers or whatever," like all these big things about Netflix. And I was like, oh, we're gonna get another one of these promos, man. But then Cena, he twists it and he starts talking about his retirement tour and talking about number 17 and all of that. And it ended up being an incredible promo, and it ended up being so good that it's just made my number 2 spot. 2 in a row where we've, kind of agreed, and I've bounced right off you. That's my number 2 promo / segment of the month. It doesn't quite get number 1 because I think there's something that was exceptional on a different level. But this John Cena promo was really, really good, and it's one that I'll rewatch a ton of times in my life because it's so special.
What takes number 2 for me, second place, is Kevin Owens and CM Punk, SmackDown 31st of January. Originally, Kevin Owens was interviewed by Joe Tessitore, which was a very good interview. Just Kevin Owens doing what Kevin Owens does. He was slagging Joe Tessitore, he was insulting the fans. And then CM Punk came out, which is a dream match, a dream feud. And what do you expect? Like with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, it's CM Punk and Kevin Owens, two great people on the mic, and they tore each other apart. It was a phenomenal promo, in my opinion.
Well, I would say from my perspective, CM Punk obliterated Kevin Owens in this promo. You pretty much have Punk come out and he's like, "I apologize for interrupting you. I know how that feels, and I apologize for overlooking you. I kind of made it a foregone conclusion that Cody was going to retain, but actually you have a chance." And then Kevin Owens kind of turns around and he's like, "I don't want you to win the Rumble. The thought of you not main event in a WrestleMania is amazing to me." And then he twists it and says, "Actually, the thought of me like beating you at WrestleMania would be great." And he twists it in a way so it's like, "I don't want you at WrestleMania, I want you," and then actually, you know what? I don't want you at WrestleMania. And then Punk kind of hits another gear in this promo when he then says, "Right, okay, well, I'm not the person that lost 5 World Championship matches at the Royal Rumble. I'm not the person that has lost to Logan Paul." Now, actually, that's very funny because Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk in the Royal Rumble like 2 days later. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder if that was like on purpose to maybe set something up in a future feud between Kevin and Punk, where Kevin will then mention, "Well, you got eliminated by Logan Paul," or whatever. But either way, Punk then just goes on a nice little rampage. And then Punk's like, "Come on, fight me, come on." And then Kevin walks away, and you can see the look on his face. He looks mental. He is so mad that he isn't even going to retaliate towards Punk, but you can see his face, like, he is not happy, right? And Punk's just smiling at him, and you can tell Kevin, he's wanting to do something about it, but he's not going to do it because he knows he's got a WWE Championship match the next night. So yeah, I thought this promo was excellent. We'll have to see in a second if it is my number 1, but it is for sure, if not, one of the best promos of the month, and I cannot wait for the eventual Kevin Owens versus CM Punk feud because, like the Punk and Cody feud, I think this could also be feud of the year. I think the Kevin Owens and Punk feud could be just as good as the Drew and Punk feud. I genuinely do, because these guys, when we talk about promos, could have the best promos against each other of all time. These are the 2 best people on the mic, and with the character work that Kevin Owens is doing right now, this truly has potential to be one of the greatest feuds of all time. And for my number 1 spot, the best promo / segment of the month, in my opinion, comes from a January 13th Monday Night Raw promo where it was Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk all going head to head on the mic. I thought this was excellent. This pretty much was a dream promo. These 3 guys all hate each other with an absolute passion, right? And I'm pretty sure it was the first time that Punk and Drew have interacted after their Hell in a Cell match. So that made it really interesting. But we had Punk come out and he said some stuff. And then Seth comes and interrupts him, right? And these 2 have a really good back and forth, just talking about the Royal Rumble. In this promo, they all declared themselves for the Royal Rumble. So that was pretty much the goal of it. Punk comes out, they go back and forth, and then Drew comes out, and that's when you know things are about to really hit another gear, and they're really about to kick off. And Drew just does some amazing work here, right? You can see his absolute hatred especially with Punk during this promo. Punk ends up saying something and he's like, "I dragged your ass across Hell in a Cell," and then Drew just stares at him for like 5 seconds. Doesn't do anything and just looks over at Punk, and you can just see in his face, right? Like Kevin Owens, he's just mentally so mad. And it's the absolute just back and forth with each other. You have Drew talking to Seth, saying how Seth's selfish. Drew had Jey Uso neutralized, right? And all Seth had to do was stop Roman Reigns from regaining the Ulafala last week on Raw, and Seth didn't do anything. Drew's telling Seth how he's selfish. He has his own agendas and all of that. And then they're about to brawl, have a little three-way right in the ring. But then Drew stops and he's like, enough, enough, enough. Roman's playing chess. We're all playing checkers. We need to concentrate on him, make sure he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, and that's why I'm going to be in there. He can't go and regain his title. So Drew has a clear goal at this point, and it's to make sure Roman Reigns doesn't regain power. I really hope that they continue telling this story because it's amazing what Drew's doing in terms of like the whole bounty hunter thing. But it looks like with the whole Damian Priest elimination and things like that, they might be putting that on a hold for a little bit.
Like you said, this promo was a dream promo. It is a dream match as well that we've not gotten yet. And one thing I love about Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens is that they do stuff that fit their character. Like Drew McIntyre, why would he fight them? He was just talking about how they shouldn't be focused on them and they should be focused on Roman Reigns. So he just turns around and tells them that they shouldn't be doing this. So a really good pick, and I got number one left. Will it be my number one?
I think so, yeah.
Well, my number one is Cody Rhodes and CM Punk.
Oh, okay, wow.
So actually, I don't have Seth during Punk in this list.
That is crazy.
It was my honorable mention. I had one honorable mention.
I've got a couple honorable mentions.
That was my one. Well, there's another one that you mentioned I forgot about, which was Penta. But Cody and Punk, they mentioned history that I didn't even know they had.
It's like the title's got them in a chokehold, and it's turning them evil in a way, putting this dark side on Cody, turning him even closer to like Cody Lander, right? For sure, like we can clearly see the progression of Cody's character, and especially with this feud with Kevin, this is the darkest we've seen Cody ever since returning to the WWE.
He did look exhausted in the promo. I'll say that.
And that's the one.
Sweating in the
That's
face.
the one cool thing. You could see the sweat. You could see he was exhausted, but not only that, it was the one promo in a while. Someone mentioned it that he wasn't wearing a suit.
Oh.
He normally wears a suit, but he was wearing this like sports jacket, and it was actually quite fresh to see that, quite different. But yeah, this is for sure like the most dark version of Cody we've ever seen in the WWE since his return, and I really hope that they continue putting him down this dark path, because the feud with Kevin probably is finished now. We're now looking at his Mania feud, probably Punk, Cena, maybe a combination of both, maybe someone else. I'm hoping that we continue to tell this dark story of Cody Rhodes.
We did see a dark side of him at Royal Rumble. He was willing to do whatever he wanted to do
to
take down Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And he celebrated in front of Kevin Owens' lifeless body with Sami Zayn there. But what are your honourable mentions?
So one of my honourable mentions is the Kevin Owens and CM Punk promo that they had. I thought that was really, really good. Probably if I was doing a top 6, that's 6. Right, I just couldn't quite get it in there. It was the closest one to maybe break Penta's, but I didn't quite think it broke into there. I thought the Penta promo was just a little more special, but Kevin and Punk, for sure, if they were to have more promos, will be getting into top 5 pretty much every time. These guys are just so good. Another honorable mention I have is the CM Punk promo where he is, I think it's January 20th, where he's at the top of the crowd in a way with, I think, Jackie Redmond. And it's the one where he says he'll throw Hulk Hogan's dusty ass over the ropes. And I thought this promo was excellent. It really reminded me of like an old school promo. He was very energetic and over the top in a way. I thought this was really, really good. But, it doesn't quite crack into my top 5 just because I feel like it's just a little short compared to some of the deeper promos we've had. Another one is another CM Punk promo. Another honorable mention I have is the one where he did at the press conference right after January 6th debut Raw on Netflix. It's right at the start of the press conference. He has just beaten Seth at this point, and he's talking to Jackie Redmond again. He mentions like how 46 is only a number, and how he's in his prime, and how 30 is like 1 to 30 is only a number, and how he's going to win the Royal Rumble and all that type of stuff. Another really great promo. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. And another honorable mention, I think the final one, is, well, actually, I say the final one. It's pretty much all the Jacob Fatu promos that we got this month, because this guy was incredible. I just don't think any of them were like good enough on their own to make it into a top 5 or deep enough, you know. But once you put him in an actual like promo battle with someone, he had a little one with Damian Priest. But if you give him in like maybe 10 minutes in the ring with someone, I think for sure he's going to get in there. But the one in particular that I really loved is the one where Solo walks off, and he's walking through the crowd, and then Jacob's kind of looking at him, and then he picks up the mic, and he's like saying, "I thought I was crazy," you know, and he's like, "I'm only getting started," and all that. I thought that promo was unbelievable. We also had the Bloodline, the Frontline, the Deadline one. We've had loads of different great ones this month, and he is so fun to watch on the mic, and I cannot wait to see him more like tonight on SmackDown. SmackDown will have already happened by the time this video comes out. Jacob Fatu is excellent when it comes to talking on that microphone. And yet again, another stacked January when it comes to promos and segments. We talked about moments. Promos and segments was just as hard, I'd say even harder, when putting together a top 5 list. I really wanted to have a top 10, top 15 list, but you just can't do that, you know. You want to be strict, you want to put it down to only 5. But a lot of these promos, I would say, are great enough to get into a yearly candidate, you know, like a best of the year awards. I think some of these are truly that good. And again, we'll just have to wait and see if February can top it. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy content like this, we upload very regularly, so turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and tell us in the comments, what do you think was the best promo or segment of the month? What is your top 5? We'd love to hear them. So yeah, thank you again. See you later.